we've got a late night edition of the Cleveland Browns Report as we have an interesting rumor out there that the Seattle Seahawks are very much interested in trading for Baker Mayfield. So we're going to talk about that on our second edition of the Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, checking out this tweet from Josina Anderson, who tweeted out, "I'm told the Seahawks still have a high level of interest in acquiring quarterback Baker Mayfield, and behind the scenes are open to contractually extending him, per league source. I also know that the process of collecting information and insight into Mayfield is still ongoing." Jack, let's keep it on here for a second because there are a couple layers of this tweet to break down. One, the first layer is we have to take Josina Anderson's word for it, right? This is what she is reporting. This is not, I would say, widespread fire knowledge across the league here. We haven't seen Schefter or Field Yates or any of the other big J's go with this. The biggest thing that jumped out to me was that the Seahawks are open to extending Baker Mayfield's contract, which I guess that's fine. I really don't care once Baker gets traded what the next team does with his contract, if they want to extend him or not. But after what you saw last year, and he's coming off shoulder surgery, you're thinking about extending him before he plays for you? That just seemed a little weird and fishy to me. But I mean, cheers to you, Seattle. If that's what you want to do, power to you. But we have been here before. When it comes to the latest Baker Mayfield trade rumor, we have been twisted and turned every single direction. But you know what? It's late June 22nd, NBA draft tomorrow. So why not talk about this story before packing things up and going home? Because I think my biggest takeaway from this report is Geno Smith and Drew Lock bombed their auditions. They did not look good, evidently, at least in John Schneider, the GM over in Seattle, and Pete Carroll's eyes, okay? Between OTAs and minicamp, I'm guessing these two guys just did not look the part. And at a certain level, Schneider said, well, we might as well at least watch them play in practice during the spring, and if they don't look good, then we'll go out and trade for Baker. As opposed to just pulling off the trade during the draft before you even get to see these guys like Drew Lock or Geno Smith, who with all the, confidence maybe of being the starter, get some first-team reps. So that's kind of my takeaway from why this Baker Mayfield trade could be happening to the Seattle Seahawks months after Seattle was said they're not interested. Well, maybe you would be interested if you watched some Drew Lock football because it ain't pretty, folks. And we'll look at some stats comparing Baker and these two guys in just a second. But I invite you all to weigh in on this question. Will Baker be traded before training camp? I'll put that as the deadline. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no if you think Baker ends up getting dealt before training camp opens up. I personally think that Seattle knows Baker is the best option, right? Are we really going to debate this? I know it's fun to maybe bash on your ex here in Baker because you have the awesome QB in Deshaun Watson right now, but let's not act like Baker is an awful quarterback who's going to be out of the league after his first contract. I mean, you can compare Baker to Drew Lock, and it's not much of a comparison here, right? Who are we trying to fool here? Sure, you may say that Baker is not a good QB or, be very big anti-Baker, and that's fine, but, Baker is better than Drew Lock. The numbers say that. Sure, their careers have been different because Baker's been in the league a bit longer, but what about Baker to Geno Smith? Again, I don't think it's not a comparison, not even much of a comparison. He dunks on these guys. He is better in every way possible than Drew Lock and Geno Smith. The only thing he's not better in is having a lower contract. That is the only spot where Drew Lock and Geno Smith get him. So then the question really becomes, is Baker so much better that he is worth a bigger contract and losing some draft capital? In my opinion, I think he is. I think if you're John Schneider, the GM of the Seahawks, you just traded Russell Wilson away. You know that the fan base is pissed off about that. You don't have much time to sit around on your hands and toss out Drew Lock and, slap some titties around until you draft a QB in 2 years or next year or something like that. So I think it's Baker Mayfield by a landslide. But let me know what you guys think. Who is the better quarterback? If it's Baker Mayfield, put number 6. If it's Drew Lock, put number 2. Or if it's Geno Smith, put number 7. Let me know which quarterback you guys think is the best of the bunch right here. And listen, when Baker Mayfield gets traded, we'll be going live on our Browns Report. So make sure you are subscribed. That way you can join in that fun. See what the result is, right? See the haul that Andrew Berry gets back for the former first overall pick. If you haven't subbed yet, make sure you do so by clicking. You don't even smash. You just click. Boom. That big red button. I also believe it all just comes down to the money. All right? This has been PD's soapbox here, PD's TED Talk on why Baker has not been traded yet. Because the money's a big factor here. He's due nearly $19 million guaranteed. So you could have a handful of GMs out there going, well, they'd be pretty dumb GMs. But maybe there are some GMs out there thinking, we don't need to trade for Baker. Baker will be released, and we can just sign him to a veteran minimum contract. And that way, he only gets paid the difference, or we only have to pick up the difference of what he was going to be getting guaranteed from the Browns. And we just pay him the minimum, so he gets all the money he wants still. And I think that is the only thing that is truly in the way of this trade getting pulled off. Now, I do have my own trade idea I'll toss out on the show right now. Let me know what you think about it. I've got the Browns getting a conditional third-round pick, also eating $8 million. He's due nearly $19 million, so not quite 50%, but, 40%. Someone can do the math. Someone can spot my math right there. And the Seahawks in return get Baker Mayfield, toss a 7th-round pick just because they are taking on $10+ million of a contract from Baker. So kind of seems maybe a little fair. Plus, GMs just love to toss in day 3 picks just to smooth things over and make sure a deal goes through. I ultimately hope that Andrew Berry just eats some money. You know what I mean? And this is just a little bit me of being prisoner of the moment and a little anxious. And it's the end of June. I just want something to happen. But just get the deal done. Right? Get the trade done. That way we can kind of move on from this and stop talking about it. Maybe if Andrew Berry waits until training camp and a legit starter gets hurt, he could get a better pick back because all of a sudden he would have all the leverage and would have him by the balls and be like, you need a quarterback. There's only one starting quarterback outside of Jimmy Garoppolo who is available, and you can maybe even make an argument for Baker being better than Jimmy. That's not today's show, though. If that's the case, maybe Berry does want to wait, but I'm bored. So can we just trade him, right? I mean, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but let's just get this deal done. That way we can kind of move on from this and put it in the rearview mirror and be done with it. Before we send you guys off into the rest of your evenings, we have an NBA draft coverage here at Chat Sports that's going to blow you out of the water because over on ESPN and NBA Draft, NBA TV and whatnot, they wait for Adam Silver to go up to the podium to announce the pick. Not us. We take the Woj bombs, we take the Shams tweets, and we get them to you the moment they happen. And that way you can be ahead of the TV coverage, and you can get the most up-to-date draft news over on our live stream airing tomorrow with Chat Sports NBA experts Chase Sr. and Harrison Graham. So let's end the show on this question right here. Who do you want the Cavs to draft? I'm assuming most of you guys watching are Cavs fans, of course. So let me know who you want the Cavs to draft. Who was the, what was the name? Dieng? Yeah, Dieng's the big Vegas favorite right now for the Cavs. So maybe that could happen, but let me know if you want to shock the world. Maybe Jaden Ivey can put out a bad tweet and he falls all the way to Cleveland. Well, they don't really need Ivey, but it would be cool. So let me know who you think down below. And while you hit down there, make sure you subscribe. That way you stay locked in for the best Cleveland Browns coverage on YouTube. That's going to do it for us here on today's show. Appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with more Browns news and rumors.